What does that mean, just not for the season, but just daily in competition?
It's competition. Daily, that, like you said, it's competition every day. Every day is somebody that's going to push you to become better. All the older heads inside the room, including the new guys, we just got to train them and train ourselves while we try to compete and get better.
How is that going with guys like Travion and Dinkins and Dante Russell and those guys?
Them guys, they definitely trying to find their way inside the program, and definitely they trying to learn every day. I see them guys asking us questions, trying to see how the defense really go, especially inside our position, and how we work as our personal group. So they trying to find their way.
What have you thought of DeMonte Russell so far?
DeMonte Russell? The big brother, or little brother?
The big brother.
The big brother. Oh, he doing good. You know, he got a bag. That pass rush, he definitely got a bag on him, and he doing good right now.
You didn't have Jordan Davis for all of last season. You didn't have him in the spring. Does it feel different having him out there on the other side of you this year?
It's just a guy that we missed, and a guy that we know got something under his bag. So we're just happy to have him out there with us.
What does Coach Phelps maybe emphasize in the early part of camp?
Pass rush. Definitely pass rush. Get to the ball, put the pressure on the QB, and let's get there.
On the other side of the ball, you match up a lot with Albert Reese. How is that, and how have you seen him grown from last year?
Big Reese, yeah, he a big guy. You know, he definitely learned from last year, especially with him under. He had guys like I forgot his name. Scott. Not Scott. First round. Charles Cross. I can't believe I forgot his name. Charles Cross. You know, he was able to sit down and watch a guy like him, somebody who come in day by day blue collar program and work hard, you know. So he definitely learning.
What's it like having to dial back on the aggression? Because you guys, even in these non-contact practices, looks like you really want to go after it, but you have to kind of dial it back a little bit until the pads go on.
Yeah, until tomorrow we had to dial it back these pads. But today and yesterday we had to dial it back just so we could protect ourselves. It's hard, especially being happy to be back out here. It was hard, but you know, tomorrow them pads come on.
You're a transfer, obviously, but you've been here a couple of years now. But this defense has gotten some more transfers in here. Jackie Matthews, Hunter Washington, Marcus Banks. How have you helped those guys transition, and how much can they help the defense?
As soon as they came in, I was talking to them. As soon as I learned they were transfers, and I was a transfer, and I know, like, coming in as a transfer, especially from another program, is like, do I want to talk to the guy? Do I want to get? So I just, you know, go up to them and talk to them, and it's been good. Them boys, they getting in with the group, becoming that family. They joining us, so it's been good.
How much more comfortable do you feel now that it's your second year?
I feel a lot more comfortable. Like last year, I felt good, especially like after those, like we got into camp. But now this year, these guys, my guys. They've been around my family. I've been around theirs. We just one big family now.
Part of that family is Cam Young. What's it been like playing with him? What's he like as a off the field?
Cam Young, he cool. He mellow. He just he ain't got too much emotions, but you know, like he gonna bring it. And off the field, he a chill guy. We go play pool. We got a little ping pong. We just have a good time.
Randy, in terms of experience, how much personally has having some experience helped you early in camp?
Just knowing what not to do and what to do, knowing how to come to practice, knowing chase the ball, knowing steps, like just being locked into my technique just for these first 2 days, just having that experience, knowing like this is what's key for these 2 days going into the rest of the camp. So it's been good.
Is there a hard lesson you learned in the last year or so that you haven't repeated yet? One that you want to share?
Not one I think of.
Okay.
Not one I think
That's fair. That's fair.
How helpful is it his days in non-contact to get guys ready for it, for the contact? They just can't come out and start hitting the first day.
Oh, I don't think it has anything to do with getting ready for the actual contact. I think it just has to get you some assignment work down. So at least when the contact happens, hopefully the contact is with the right leverage and in the right location.
What are your thoughts about the safety group so far?
Oh, like I said, you know, obviously we got a lot of work at running around and trying to cover routes and where we're supposed to be in zone coverage. So, you know, we got quite a few guys who've got significant reps under their belt. We're just trying to identify the top 6, and then within that, the top 3 who deserve to start.
More specifically with that group, you had Jackie Matthews in the spring, and I know camps are starting and all, but what were you able to tell for Jackie and what steps does he have to take forward this camp?
Yeah, we just got to get Jackie a lot more reps, getting comfortable with the assignment, so it's second nature. You know, he had a really good spring. You know, we played corner, some West Virginia. Obviously, played on the slot and the nickel too, so feels really comfortable in man coverage. Obviously, we like him in that scenario, but if you want to be multiple, right, which is the buzzword on defense, you got to be able to mix coverage, fronts, looks, blah blah blah, and so a lot of that stuff take reps. So we just got to get him more reps.
What have you thought of DCAM so far? Sorry, what have you thought of DCAM so far?
DCAM, probably the most consistent worker on the team. Every day is approach, so we love what we see from DCAM.
You mentioned reps, and of course year 3 with you, and a lot of guys at a lot of spots on the defense have had a lot of reps. How much do you see maybe some of these older guys teaching some of the younger guys and kind of showing them the ropes a little bit now that they've been around you for 3 years?
Oh, you certainly see that. Obviously, we got a lot of good guys in the program. They want to try to bring the youngsters up to speed as fast as possible. And then, when you got vets who've got a lot of reps, also you can, you don't really do install, right? You just come out and say, all right, we're calling whatever, and you should know how to handle it. So that makes it pretty fun.
Can that help you go further, faster when you're talking about a finite number of days before first game, when you've got guys who've had a lot of reps, the expectations there kind of?
I think so, but then when I go watch the film after the first scrimmage, I think we're doing way too much and we don't do anything very well. So, but it's an annual mistake.
What's it like having this kind of experience coming back on the D-line?
If you want veteran experience, particularly in this league, that's the area you want it.
Jalen Green last year was just coming in as a transfer. He's got that year under his belt. Do you see kind of a different persona from here, or a different way that he kind of handles himself this year opposed to last year at all?
I think it's just what we were talking about with Jackie, right? I mean, he come in, didn't have a bunch of reps, so anytime you're thinking a whole bunch, it's hard to be real fast and confident. And obviously now he's got a whole year of experience, so he knows what we do. So he's another guy like DK, man. Shows up with the right approach every day, focus on trying to get better at something, and obviously he's much more comfortable, so there's less thinking, and it allows your natural ability to shine through a little bit.
Not to get you into trouble with NCAA, obviously, but with the emphasis on safety, cutting back contact days to 18, you can have 75 minutes contact during a contact day and just 2 scrimmages. How does that change the approach to coaching defense, which is so much of a contact kind of sport?
Obviously with the amount of time and resources invested in major college football now, you guys are pretty much in shape year round. Now, obviously, football shape's completely different, getting pads on, so you got to hit enough to get used to the bumps and the bruises and the aches that come with playing football and yet still being able to play football. So you got to work that into shape. But obviously, we got Coach Brown and his staff does a phenomenal job. Our guys come into camp in shape, and so it's not like you're starting from ground zero.
I think Jett, the first year you were here, might have had like 1 tackle. And then last year he was just such a huge part of your defense in the run game. How much did you see him grow from that year 1 to year 2? What was it that really kind of set him apart in those 2 years?
I think if you ask Jett, he probably just a bad evaluation by me, and he got kept on the sidelines way too much that year. He had 1 tackle, so yeah, should have been had him out there a lot more.
Have you seen him kind of take a leadership role, or has that been who he is?
Yeah, just like this, it's back to that same one about DCAM, and I mean, Jett's a show up and just get to work kind of guy and do my job, and so it typically leads to the kind of success he had last year when you have that approach.
How much has Cameron Young matured in the couple years since you've been here?
I don't know, physically, you look at him, you probably say he's the most physically mature guy we got on this team, so that's what you want in there at nose guard.
Yeah, like 1 tackle that first year, and then last year was just such a huge part of the defense. Now moving into this year, I mean, how much have you seen yourself grow over the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, I mean, it's just first of all, it's just a blessing for him to trust me, and after not having very much production, but just day in and day out, worrying about what I can do to get better each and every day, and then just letting the process build up, and then him trust me, throw me in there, and have a huge impact on the defense. Kind of doing the same thing this year. Obviously I want to have another huge impact on the defense, and just working every day, doing the little things to make sure that happens.
He joked about, maybe it was just bad evaluation by him not getting you on the field, but did you feel like you were ready back then, or was last year kind of your year?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I always say game experience is something you can't emulate, and getting my feet wet a little bit was, obviously helpful, because I'd been in Georgia, Death Valley, and places like that. So it helped, but I mean, you know, everybody gets thrown in there at some point. And so when Buki went down, NC State, you know, I was able to make the most of my opportunity.
The entire D-line and linebacking core return for you guys, minus Aaron Brule. How does it feel to have that kind of experience back this year?
I mean, that's huge. I always joke with Cam and you know, all those guys. I'm like, all right, how many are you gonna take up today? 2, 3, 4, all of them, you know, so we can get some tackles. And those guys do a great job. I'd say we got the best D-line in the country, and they're great people and obviously great football players. So.
You mentioned Cam. What's he like?
He's quiet. We play ping pong every day, pretty much during you know, the season and stuff, and so we're pretty tight. Great dude for sure.
Who wins?
We're pretty split. He's gotten a lot better.
I don't know if you can tell right now because it's just the first couple of days of practice, but does the defense feel a lot different when a guy like Jordan Davis is in the ball game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jordan, we're thrilled to have him back. He plays a huge role in this defense. He's a huge effort guy, like myself, but he's got a little more attributes to him than I do, and so you know, he'll play a big role.
Talk about all these guys that are back, up front, linebacker, and everything. How different is it right now in year 3 with Zach as the defensive coordinator
yeah,
than it was 2 years ago when you guys were trying to learn a new scheme and everything?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you know, everybody knows the defense pretty well by now, and we can kind of, you know, interchange, you know, if you will, and kind of just, you know, play with it a little bit more because people are comfortable with it. And so, I mean, just knowing the defense, you can play fast and you can have a lot of success.
How often do we have Coach Jett or Coach Buki or Coach Forbes out there on the field? Does that kind of happen sometimes?
Like,
you guys as players kind of coach some
Oh
of the
yeah,
youngsters?
no, like communication is vital for us. Like, you know, we got to make sure we're on the same page. I mean, you know, we're, you know, based on formation and stuff, we're talking. I mean, it's all kind of communication, which is great.
Going up against these running backs, have you seen them make any sort of jump this year?
Our running backs?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dylan, Woody, Bull, Simeon. I mean, they're great. Yeah, I mean, they're shifty and powerful and fast.